Okay นะครับ in this one you are asked to find out the present value นะครับ you are asked to find out the present value. Okay, these are the list of arguments that present value needs นะครับ or the PV function needs. So interest rate in this case นะครับ they say that 5% per year. And be careful because we pay monthly นะครับ because we pay monthly you have to change the rate to be percentage per month first. In this case we divided by 12 นะครับ we divided by 12 and then it's per month not per year anymore. And make sure that this is not real 0%, it's 0 point something percent. I will add the increase the decimal points. Okay, this is 0.417. Okay, after that payment 1,000 per month. So it is PMT 1,000 per month. That means negative 1,000 because we pay out นะครับ 1,000 per month over 5 years. That means the end per is 5 times 12 นะครับ because it is number of months that you have to pay. Okay. After that for the what to say annuity นะครับ for the annuity the FV is 0 นะครับ the FV is 0 and type นะครับ and type because we pay at the end of the month type is 0 too นะครับ the annuity when we call this kind of the insurance as annuity we always treat FV as 0 นะครับ after that for the when we calculate the PV นะครับ we just like use these arguments นะครับ rate N per PMT FV and type ครับ so that means นะครับ that means when you see the intermediate result it's 52,990 นะครับ 70 cents นะครับ okay this is the present value นะครับ this is the present value of the amount of money นะครับ of the amount of money นะครับ that is worth now นะครับ 52,990 so what does it mean if you have a look นะครับ in the basic calculation in here you have to pay 1,000 for 60 months if you just calculate straightforwardly 60 times 1,000 you get $60,000 but when you compare with the present value here นะครับ the amount of money นะครับ that you really have to pay totally is 60,000 but how come that the present value is 52,990 as I told you earlier you cannot withdraw the money straight away if you withdraw the money now let's see okay when you compare with the money that you really have to pay for the whole 60 months you get less money นะครับ 52,990 that's why นะครับ the annuity insurance policy doesn't allow you to withdraw the money before if you withdraw you get less amount immediately นะครับ but I mean like when we what to say when we just like pay for the whole 5 years นะครับ you get more money นะครับ and then they will give you back the amount of money every single period of time depends on the insurance policy that they specify นะครับ so this is a special kind of insurance company insurance policy นะครับ that I just want to show you okay so this is present value นะครับ that will use like this all of the argument นะครับ as we learned before นะครับ apart from the PV or present value the next the next function that we have to learn is the rate function นะครับ is the rate function. The rate function นะครับ is a function that is used to calculate the interest rate in terms of clearing the loan or in terms of saving as the investment นะครับ The interest rate here will return the rate นะครับ in terms of percentage, but for the unit of time that the rate will be returned, it depends on number of period or the payments that you pay. Whether you pay monthly, the rate will be monthly rate. If you say that you pay quarterly, the rate will be quarterly rate. And then when you have to just like answer นะครับ or tell other people นะครับ I mean especially in terms of the banks or the financial company, if you have to tell your customers นะครับ you may have to tell them in terms of the rate interest rate per year นะครับ especially for the savings. For example, when you go to any banks นะครับ internationally นะครับ universally I can tell you, whenever we talk about interest rate นะครับ I mean especially for the saving accounts นะครับ or fixed accounts, the interest rate that they will tell you always be interest rate per year นะครับ so that means if you calculate it and it is monthly rate, you have to change it to be the rate the annual rate or rate per year first before you tell them นะครับ but I mean like if we are talking about the examination, if you are asked to find the interest rate per month, then you just like answer interest rate per month นะครับ depends on what they ask you to do. Okay, so for the interest rate, let's see the syntax of interest rate first before we start talking about the example นะครับ so the interest rate here require 6 arguments. This is one special argument that you have to know. This is guess นะครับ I will tell you what this argument means นะครับ rate function นะครับ needs n per นะครับ number of period. PMT is payment, PV present value, FV future value, type is the type of payment at the beginning or at the end of the period, and guess, this is a special argument นะครับ we had it long time ago since the specification of the computer was not as fast as we have today นะครับ guess argument tell us that okay is the argument to tell the computer นะครับ in case that we just like know that okay what was the rate we had before, so that when Excel calculates for the interest rate, it will just like start calculating from that guess, the value that match to the guess first. If you specify for example, if you said that okay on last year it was 0.2%, so in here you may put the guess value as 0.2% as well, so that it can just like calculate faster. But if you don't know, you don't need to enter anything because Excel will calculate by itself anyway. So in this at this period of time when our computer has just like better speed than in the past, guess arguments you don't need to put it at all นะครับ if you put it, what will happen? Nothing that you can see outstandingly. But I mean in the past, guess argument may help the Excel function to calculate faster. Just that นะครับ just faster. It doesn't affect any correctness นะครับ or accuracy of the result at all นะครับ so that's why I can tell you that we can omit the guess argument นะครับ you don't need to put anything. Okay, right. Okay, so for this function นะครับ let's see the example นะครับ that we have to calculate the rate function นะครับ for the rate function here นะครับ okay in this first example you are asked to find out the monthly interest rate. So that means when you answer, you have to answer as the monthly interest rate นะครับ okay and also if you set up all the arguments properly the interest rate that will return to you will be monthly interest rate already นะครับ okay this one okay let's analyze this problem we are asked to find the monthly interest rate so this one we are going to use rate function to clear a loan. To clear a loan means that in the future you have no more debts. It's zero for the FV นะครับ because you clear off. After that, loan you have $50,000. That means on the first day you receive 50,000 นะครับ from the bank. It is positive 50,000. And then payment you pay $1,000 per month. You pay $1,000 per month. So PMT you pay. That means you have to use negative 1,000. You pay it out per month. Over 5 years. That means for the number of period. You have to change it to be 5 times 12. Why do you have to change from 5 to be 60? Because you can see that our payment we pay per month. So that's why number of period you have to change it to be monthly period as well. That means 60 months. If you don't change, the calculation will be wrong because if you say that it's just 5,นะครับ Excel will think that you pay for 5 months นะครับ the value that it will just like show you for the rate will be different นะครับ okay the type you pay at the end of the month the type is 0 because you pay at the end of the month guess we don't know we have not no idea about the guess in here or the previous rate that we had before okay so in this one I just like leave it I don't enter anything นะครับ and then we just like calculate by using the rate function and see what happened so for the rate function here okay rate I just enter all the arguments and per PMT PV FV type this one นะครับ before I finish up these arguments you have to be careful นะครับ this one you have to be careful because normally นะครับ normally the windows นะครับ the pop-up windows for the function arguments can show us for 5 arguments at a time that is important because some functions some of the arguments that you cannot omit is not in the first 5 arguments and sometimes we forget and we click OK it will cause that argument to become omitted accidentally that's why you have to make sure that you fill up all arguments already or there is no argument that you left apart how to notice that we still have some argument left just have a look on this one ครับ you see scroll bar right you see scroll bar here the scroll bar here that you see นะครับ the scroll bar here that you see here you have to scroll down and see whether they have like some other argument left or not in this example you can see that we have argument guess left guess as I told you earlier I don't want to put anything so that means if I forget to scroll down there's no problem นะครับ for this function but for some other functions you have to check thoroughly in this example นะครับ the guess argument is the guess for what rate will be if you omit the guess will be put as 0.1% 0.1 or 10% automatically นะครับ so this one I don't care about it because I don't know what is the interest rate anyway นะครับ so in this one นะครับ if I just leave guess as blank I don't put anything here นะครับ or I may just like click to choose or to refer to the cell C77 as well นะครับ but in this one if I just like don't enter anything I leave it as blank here it means that I omit the guess. Okay, if I click OK you can see that in here this cell is rounded to be 1 but actually it's not. I'll just like increase the number of decimal points here, just 3 decimal points. Let's see นะครับ the decimal point when I just increase the decimal point here it returns the rate as 0.618 นะครับ 0.618% per watt. The percentage here is the percent per month นะครับ percent per month because everything will be monthly basis. We change number of period to be number of month. We change the payment amount or we just like calculate payment amount is payment per month. That's why when we calculate for the rate it is the rate per month as well นะครับ okay so when you calculate this นะครับ you can see that either even we don't enter the guess values. Guess value say that it is if we omit it is 0.1 or 10%, but that it's a lot different from here because the rate here is just 0.6. But you can see that when you just like finish entering all the arguments and you click OK, it is not slow at all because I can tell you that okay, it doesn't matter whether you enter the guess values or not, but our computer in this period of time is fast enough. So we just like leave the guess argument like that. We don't need to enter anything. And if you just like double click on the rate on the cell that we calculate the rate, you can see that we have just like 5 arguments only. We skip นะครับ or we omit the guess argument นะครับ the last one C76 of mine is the type only. I don't have either comma or any values behind the type. Then I can leave it like this and then I get 0.618% per month. You better enter the value the text like this so that you will not forget that this is the calculation for interest rate per month. So this is monthly interest rate. But if you are asked to find out for yearly interest rate or annual interest rate, then you have to multiply this one with 12 นะครับ with 12. Okay, I put it as percentage 3 decimal points. Okay, per year นะครับ depends on what they ask you นะครับ they may just like want you to just like show the rate per month only, then you just answer the rate per month นะครับ or you can just like change it to be rate per year. It depends นะครับ okay so any questions about this example? Okay, if you don't have any questions นะครับ example number 2 please do it by yourself นะครับ to find the interest rate as well. Okay. I just like type the question in the chat box already นะครับ 5 minutes นะครับ to calculate for the interest rate นะครับ on example number 2 ครับ okay now นะครับ let's see how do we gonna have this. Some of you answer to me through the personal DM already. It's 0.325% นะครับ for this one. Yeah, that is the correct answer. So let's see. In this question, you are asked to find the monthly interest rates. Monthly interest rate. So in here, we should use rates to calculate for this value. We would like to save $20,000 over 2 years. So that means if we would like to save $20,000, that is our goal. That means in the future we want $20,000. So the future value here นะครับ the future value here we want to receive 20,000, then it's positive 20,000 dollars. After that, over 2 years, let me check first. In here it said that okay, we pay at the start of each month. So that means we have to change number of period from years to be month to be 2 times 12. We pay 24 months. We save for 24 months. Okay. With the investment 800 per month. 800 per month means that PMT we pay out $800 per month. And then payment made at start of each month, made at the start, so type is 1 นะครับ and PV present value because we save the money at the beginning we don't have no amount of money at all, so PV is 0 นะครับ guess I'll omit it, I don't know นะครับ how many percent before, so we will just like calculate the rate like this. Okay. Then I scroll down. Yes, I don't enter anything. After that, I just increase number of decimal points. Okay, you can see that the rate is 0.325% per month. Or if I just like want to know the interest rate per year, I just multiply by 12. So this is the way that we calculate. But actually in this question, in this problem, they ask you for monthly interest rate. So just 0.325% per month is enough. Okay, so this is the interest rate that we can calculate. And that's all for the first series of functions. First series of financial function that we have to know. So we have PMT, N per, PV, FV นะครับ and rate นะครับ these 5 functions can be 5 arguments in each function as well นะครับ so in this one นะครับ for the first series of functions normally we use these functions to calculate the values for the whole contractual period, but the second series of financial functions that you have to study are the financial functions that depends and varied in each period of time. That the first one นะครับ that we have to learn is the IPMT function, and the second one is called PPMT function นะครับ so for these 2 functions นะครับ actually we studied a function called PMT already, that is payment นะครับ I can tell you that actually the IPMT and PPMT is a part of PMT นะครับ because PMT equals to IPMT plus PPMT. So if you remember, let me scroll up to the very first example of the financial function that we learned. You can see that for the first function that we learned for PMT, the first example 943.56. Actually, it comes from 2 different parts. One part of this amount is the interest. The other part of this amount is the principal นะครับ So now we are going to learn about the interest and the principal that you have to pay for each นะครับ specific period of time ครับ okay let's talk about the IPMT first นะครับ let's talk about the IPMT first the IPMT is the function that we use to calculate the amount of the interest that you have to pay per a specific period of time นะครับ in this one okay let's see the IPMT function first the IPMT returns interest payment for a given period for an investment based on periodic constant payments at constant interest rate นะครับ the assumptions that we still have to use in the IPMT and PPMT is the same as the assumptions that we had for the previous 5 functions that we learned before. That means you have to pay constantly. You have to pay equally in every single period of time, and the interest rate must be constant for the whole contractual period as well. นะครับ The argument that we have to use for the IPMT นะครับ are quite similar นะครับ to the functions in the first series, but one thing that is different, you can see that we have another argument that is called per นะครับ per here is period นะครับ period what does it mean by period if you pay monthly period is month number นะครับ that you would like to know if you pay quarterly the period is quarter number for example quarter number 1 how much is the interest quarter number 2 how much is the interest something like that นะครับ okay so let's see for the IPMT นะครับ if we have the example how can we use this IPMT function in ครับ let's see in the first example that I'll show you for the IPMT ครับ okay now the example is in the chat box already นะครับ for this function นะครับ we need to use this argument นะครับ rate per and per PV FV and type how about like to formulate this kind of function okay let's see from the example first นะครับ in this the text in the example here it said that you are asked to find the interest payments so that's why I just have to use and formulate the argument for IPMT function นะครับ during month 1 and month 2 month 1 and month 2 should be per นะครับ per is 1 and per is 2 so I just put it as a table like this month 1 and month 2 month 1 and month 2 okay I put them like this first and after that okay I better put it here sorry per 1 and per 2 I put them here because month 1 and month 2 after that you have a loan for 50,000 นะครับ loan for 50,000 that means for 50,000 you receive it on the first day sorry 50,000 I'm sorry month 2 นะครับ present value is the same because you borrow 50,000 from the bank okay next นะครับ you want to pay them off over 5 years paid off means that future value is 0 นะครับ after that over 5 years means that you would like to pay off in 5 years so NPER is 5 years but you pay monthly so in this one is 5 times 12 for both of them นะครับ interest rate is 5% per year but you pay monthly นะครับ you have to change the rate to be monthly rate it is 5% divided by 12 นะครับ okay for the type you pay at the end of each month นะครับ type is 0 and after that we calculate the IPMT for the IPMT นะครับ we just like use this argument นะครับ we do one column at a time because I want to calculate the interest payment for the month number 1 first นะครับ okay we go to IPMT ครับ and then I start entering all the arguments okay and then I just click OK. You can see that in here I have to pay $208.33 for the interest นะครับ on month number 1 What about month number 2 On month number 2 you can see that I do the same thing as what I did on month number 1 and you can see that the interest that I have to pay on month 2 is $205.27 as I told you นะครับ the amount of the interest will be decreasing ครับ when the time goes by the first month is $208.33 on month 2 it's decreasing 205 I just like put the symbol negative off first so that you not be confused on the second month the interest is $205.27 นะครับ now let's try I just want to know that on month 60 นะครับ on month 60 what is the interest rate that we have to pay everything is the same except per or period is period 60 นะครับ is period 60 and then I just calculate the IPMT you can see that it's decreasing down นะครับ to this one $3.92 month number 1 month number 2 month number 60 okay it's decreasing and decreasing นะครับ okay so but you have to know that okay for the value of per นะครับ at most you can enter นะครับ for n per that is the maximum one you can see that our n per is 60 right that means the whole contractual period is 60 months but if you enter per or period as month 61 what will happen this one show error immediately because there is no more month 61 นะครับ we clear off the debt in 60 months already no more debt in month 61 นะครับ what about month 0 what happened month 0 is not possible as well because on day 1 that you borrow the money from the bank you don't have to pay the debt yet the debt start on month number 1 นะครับ so that means hang on that means the per นะครับ possible per value start from 1 to n per นะครับ from 1 to n per นะครับ possible per value is from 1 to n per so this one n per is 60 so that means a possible per value is from 1 to 60 นะครับ okay this is the function the first example of IPMT function so the next example นะครับ please do it by yourself for the n per for IPMT นะครับ the interest payment Okay. The problem is in the chat box already นะครับ Please spend 5 minutes to complete example number 2 Okay ครับ everyone so right now นะครับ some of you answered to me already for these two values นะครับ the interest rate for the quarter one and quarter two นะครับ okay so let's see นะครับ I just like put all of this value first นะครับ for this one you are asked to find the interest payment for quarter one and quarter two นะครับ for the investments นะครับ we would like to find out our the interest นะครับ that the financial institution will pay to us or if you are a financial institution we have to pay to our customer นะครับ the investment current value is zero so PV is zero นะครับ I'll do one column first and then I'll copy this value to another column นะครับ we require to reach 5,000 นะครับ so that means future value for both is 5,000 นะครับ the customer will receive 5,000 at the end of the period 2 years นะครับ 2 years and we pay quarterly so n per is 2 times 4 because we pay 4 quarters per year for 2 years นะครับ per is 1 นะครับ now we are talking about quarter one first after that interest rate is 3.5% per year we have to change percentage per year to be percentage per quarter each year we have 4 quarters then we have to divide it by 4 okay per quarter then we change it to be percentage okay type we pay at the beginning of each quarter it's 1 okay so I just calculate the IPMT for the first quarter first this one you have to be careful a bit นะครับ if you see in the function argument here type นะครับ type if you just like click OK it will be omit that means type will be zero immediately นะครับ that means you pay at the end of the quarter but this one we say that we pay at the beginning of the quarter don't forget to scroll down นะครับ otherwise it will be wrong and type is 1 นะครับ it's different from the previous function that we don't need to enter the guess value นะครับ in this one when you just put here it's 0 นะครับ it's 0 นะครับ because it is the first period of time sorry this one the first quarter okay but for the second quarter it's different the interest rate for second quarter per is 2 is $5.26 for the interest นะครับ so in this one นะครับ you can see that we can calculate for the interest payments for different quarters and if you ask me that hey why how come that the interest for the quarter one is $0 yeah because it is your saving and you just like you just save or you just invest for $5,000 only and for the whole contractual period it's quite short it's just 2 years and you pay for 8 times only so that's why the interest amount that you will receive on the first quarter is quite low but if you invest a lot more money for example if you say that it's 500,000 you can see that because once you pay even the amount of money is quite a lot but you just pay for 8 times the period is quite short so that's why the first quarter you just like receive no interest yet นะครับ okay so and you can see that hang on let me see okay in this one the amount นะครับ in quarter two it's positive 5.26 that means in this one นะครับ Excel knows that this is saving or this is investment so that's why it's a positive number because each month you receive the interest นะครับ that's why it's a positive one while the first example นะครับ it's negative $208. That means you pay out the interest to the bank นะครับ so that's why it's this is the difference for the symbol positive and negative for the interest นะครับ okay this one so up to this point do you have any questions for this example okay if there's no question now นะครับ okay I'll stop my lecture at this point นะครับ and then we will just like come back and see each other again on next Monday นะครับ okay before we finish the class นะครับ everyone could you please turn on your camera ครับ okay this what belong นะครับ okay so, Saruda and Pupan can you please turn on your camera ครับ okay นะครับ everyone if you don't have any question now นะครับ if you don't have question now you have a nice day นะครับ take care and stay safe we see each other again on next Monday นะครับ my camera is broken now you have a nice day ครับ bye bye everyone take care นะครับ bye bye see you next
สวัสดีครับ thank you very much
ขอบคุณค่ะ บ๊ายบาย
bye bye